while out on the road, a trend Utah Highway Patrol officer says is growing.
It's a tough situation to hear that on the radio.
What they're hoping all drivers will remember.
Plus, it's the last home game for an RSL legend. Nick Rimando is just minutes away from a big moment in his career.
It is very satisfying to help somebody.
100 volunteers, 5 days of work, and one big surprise. We have the latest Dream Team surprise coming up.
Live from Fox 13 Studios, this is Fox 13's Live at 5.
We are not even done with September, but it feels like fall and even winter in many areas today. We saw some snow up near Alta. So what's next for us when it comes to our weather?
I don't know, but a dramatic drop in temperatures. You can really feel it in the air out there, Breck.
It's chilly.
It's very cold. Winter-like for sure. Yeah, it feels like we kind of hurried and skipped over a fall, at least temporarily, as we look at the storm having its impact, especially across northern Utah, where most of the precipitation has been falling here over the past couple of days. Just give you an update, looking at some of these storm totals. The heaviest rainfall really hitting extreme northern Utah. We're talking North Box Elder County over towards Cache Valley. Here's just some of the numbers. As you can see, Richmond picking up 2.5 inches of precipitation. Ogden close to 3/4 of an inch, about 1/3 of an inch in Tooele, close to 3/4 of an inch in Salt Lake City. The mountains definitely benefiting from this precipitation. Looks like taking a look at the water content there in Park City with over an inch of precipitation. As you look in Utah County, just shy of 1/4 of an inch. Now, as we look right now what's going on, still finding a few spotty showers out there, particularly across the north. As you can see, for most of the state, not much activity, but a few showers making their move. As you can see, that band of showers pushing through Tooele and Box Elder County. Along the Wasatch Front, though, things are fairly quiet, even over the higher train, still holding on to that snow that has been really taking shape and form. As we see snow levels dropping down to about 6,000 feet, but as far as accumulating snow, it's definitely above 7,000 feet. But once again, we're hanging on to the clouds. We're not seeing the rain and the showers that we, of course, earlier saw. But still, as we progress throughout the evening, across portions of extreme northern Utah, that band of showers will move through. Things tapering off, but we're still going to hold on to a chance of some showers for some of the state. And we're going to be looking at these cold temperatures. How long will this cooler weather be sticking around? I'll let you know coming up in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Breck. This just into the newsroom. Crews in Tooele are working on repairing a water main break. The city says residents along 700 South from Coleman to 780 West will be without water for about 12 hours. That means until 4 o'clock tomorrow morning. The city says bottled water is available at the dig site. That's at 633 West.
Wow, some scary moments there as new dash cam and body camera footage shows the moment a Utah Highway Patrol officer was hit on I-15 yesterday.
And this afternoon, Fox 13's Aaron Cox spoke with that trooper's colleague who has been hit on the road as well and shares the message he has for drivers.
Corporal Colton Freckleton with Utah Highway Patrol says hearing one of his fellow officers was hit while out on the road is so scary, especially because he's been hit out on the road too.
Box Elder 42, I just got hit.
If he would have been out of his car, I think the damages and injuries would have been a lot worse.
Sergeant Brian Nelson with Utah Highway Patrol had been standing outside minutes before a truck came barreling into his patrol car.
Go ahead and stay in your car. Okay. Because we had one here earlier, exact same spot, another one lost it and hit the car that was already crashed.
Okay. We're very lucky that he was inside of his vehicle enough to take that impact.
A hit like that could have been deadly, and it's something Corporal Colton Freckleton says is happening more often.
I don't see that the message is clearly getting across. I feel like it's getting worse. I also feel like another big reason why this is happening is drivers are driving distracted.
Corporal Freckleton has been hit twice in the 5 years he's been with UHP. He was most recently hit in August responding to a traffic accident.
It was pretty scary to think about because where he actually went through the incident management vehicle and the concrete wall, we were standing there about 5 minutes before that, and I don't even think that we would have seen it coming. It was that fast.
Slowing down is the key, says Corporal Freckleton. The woman driving the truck in this video had moved over to give the officer room. What she did not anticipate was hydroplaning.
We ask drivers to reduce your speed upon approaching an emergency vehicle, and then number 2, move over if you have an open lane.
Now, Sergeant Nelson has been released from the hospital, and Corporal Freckleton says he's already discussing when he can come back to work. In Murray, Aaron Cox, Fox 13 News, Utah.
A 60-year-old woman was killed after she was hit by a car in Salt Lake City this weekend. The crash happened yesterday morning at Foothill Drive and Wacara Way. Police say the driver did stay on scene and is cooperating with this investigation. The woman was taken to the University of Utah Hospital, where she later died. Her identity has not yet been released.
Search and rescue crews in Washington County needed to rescue a hiker on Red Mountain this weekend. Crews say the hiker got sick during his hike and then called for help. They called for air assistance from the Arizona Department of Public Safety due to the terrain and limited access. This was Washington County Search and Rescue's 102nd rescue this year.
Tomorrow is the last day that drivers of hybrid cars can use the HOV lane without paying or having a passenger with them. So normally, drivers with hybrids were allowed to take the HOV lane without needing a passenger. But starting Tuesday, only fully electric plug-in cars and natural gas and propane-fueled vehicles will be allowed in the HOV lane without a passenger. UHP says even those electric, natural gas, and propane cars will be bound by normal HOV rules by October of 2025.
Tonight, it's the end of an era for Real Salt Lake. Barring a playoff game, Nick Raimondo will take the net for the final time at Rio Tinto Stadium, with RSL hosting the Houston Dynamo. He's had a 20-year career in the MLS. 13 of those years were spent here in Utah, piling up nearly every conceivable record for a goalkeeper. The game starts at 5:30, and we'll have a recap tonight on Fox 13 News at 9.
Still to come, a warning for anyone planning to buy a new iPhone and trade in their old one for money. We'll tell you why that may not work out.
And how much are smartphones impacting millennials? We'll tell you about what researchers have found. Welcome back. In national news, Democrats in the House are gearing up for impeachment proceedings against President Trump.
Meanwhile, the president and his team are pressing the attack against their political adversaries. Fox's Kevin Cork has more.
A partisan hit job does not make you a whistleblower.
White House senior advisors and even the president's personal attorney making their way through the Sunday shows, all defending President Trump and the now infamous conversation with Ukraine's president.
I'm a lawyer defending a client. And one of the things you do defending a client is if you can prove that somebody else did it or there's some other explanation for it, then of course you pursue that vigorously. They should be applauding me.
I don't know who the individual is. All I know is at some point, Chris, we have to focus on the real scandal, which is 3 years of deep state sabotage.
All this as new information surfaced Sunday that Rudy Giuliani was not acting alone in trying to get dirt from Ukrainian officials on the president's 2020 rival, Joe Biden. Two high-profile Washington lawyers were also working with Giuliani to get opposition research on Biden. According to a top U.S. official, all three, in fact, were working, quote, off the books, end quote, and apart from the administration. The only person in government who knows exactly what they were doing is President Trump himself. Fox News has also learned that the Pentagon, State Department, and National Security Council were unanimous in their support for military aid to Ukraine. Giuliani, meanwhile, defending himself against accusations he was trying to get dirt on the former vice president.
No, I didn't work with anybody to try to get dirt on Joe Biden. The dirt on Joe Biden was handed to me by the Ukrainians, amazed that the FBI hadn't asked for this a year earlier.
Democrats, meanwhile, say the president was abusing his power and continued on Sunday to beat the drums of impeachment.
The president has betrayed his oath of office. He's engaged in serious wrongdoing here.
But yes, I intend to hold the president accountable, and I intend to do a thorough investigation. And what we have seen already is damning.
Schiff says the whistleblower has agreed to testify in front of the House Intelligence Committee, though a date for said testimony has not yet been set. At the White House, I'm Kevin Cork, Fox News.
A New York City police officer was shot and killed in the line of duty this morning. Officer Brian Mulkeen was shot 3 times during a struggle with a suspect. He died at a local hospital. The suspect was shot and killed by police at the scene. Police say he had various prior arrests and was on probation for a drug arrest from last year.
In Pennsylvania, at least 3 people are hurt after a sightseeing helicopter crashed at the Bloomsburg Fairgrounds. That's just 90 minutes northeast of the state capital of Harrisburg. Authorities say the chopper went down in a parking lot at the fair Saturday night, damaging several vehicles. The Federal Aviation Administration and the National Transportation Safety Board are now investigating.
And a horse racing at Southern California's Santa Anita Park died yesterday on just the second day of the horse racing season. The track's owners say the horse, named MTech, had 2 broken front forelimbs after a bad step. The horse was euthanized right on the track. MTech is the 32nd horse to die at the track since last December.
Tonight, people around the world and across the state are joining together with people of the Jewish community to celebrate the Jewish New Year. The 2-day holiday begins tonight at sundown and continues through Tuesday at nightfall. The holiday is celebrated through services at synagogues to pray for a good year ahead for all mankind. Rabbi Zippel says despite the feelings of violence in places of worship around the world, this is a time for new beginnings.
I think that feeling brings with it a desire and really a yearning to connect with the community and to feel part of something larger than oneself and to really bond, which is what the holidays are all about.
Rabbi Zippel says that they will have an armed guard throughout the holiday. The services tonight are open to the public and they will start at 7 o'clock.
Thousands of creepy crawlers and slithering snakes filled the grounds of the Utah State Fair Park today. It was all part of the Wasatch Reptile Expo. The event is now in its 20th year and was fun for the whole family. Kids of all ages could check out or even buy all kinds of different creatures, from amphibians to arachnids to insects and reptiles.
That one's a hognose too.
All of them?
Yep, all of them are hognose.
And also this one?
That one's a ball python.
I like educating people. A lot of people are afraid. They don't have a better understanding. And
now, if you missed out on this Wasatch Reptile Expo, organizers say the event will be back again in May.
Okay, get this. Soon you could see Tesla vehicles driving around with no one inside.
That's pretty crazy. Plus, a warning for anyone planning to buy one of those new iPhones and then trade in their old iPhone. Jordan Hogan has that and more in today's Tech Report.
Tesla owners will soon be able to download an update filled to the brim with new features. Here's a quick run-through. Smart Summon lets the car drive to you. You must be within 200 feet, and it's only intended for parking lots and driveways. Then there's Tesla Theater, which will let you watch TV shows in the car from Hulu, Netflix, and YouTube. Spotify will also be added in the update. Tesla users will also be able to sing along to their favorite songs and watch backseat drivers become backup singers with karaoke. You can also have the car pick a random place to eat for you. Amazon is rolling out new tools to give you control over the stored voice recordings from their Alexa devices. This comes amid a range of different privacy-related concerns. Now, Alexa users can say, "Alexa, delete everything I said today." To make this work, you'll have to turn it on in your privacy settings first. The company is also giving users the ability to ask Alexa, "Tell me what you've heard." A Utah-based app called Bacon is changing up the way gig workers find work. Here's how it works. Employers post the shifts, pay, and requirements of a job and then choose the best person. In turn, people looking for temp jobs search for work in their area and then apply with one click. After the shift is done, employers and employees rate each other. More than 50 Utah companies are using the app. Mario Kart Tour is now available on iPhones and Android devices. The game, like Nintendo's other mobile releases, is free to play with in-app purchases. It's a flashback to previous games in the Mario Kart franchise that's sure to make any millennial gamer nostalgic, or any gamer for that matter. You play against other people online too. If you plan on buying the new iPhone 11 or 11 Pro while trading in your old one to get money off, be warned. It appears the trade-in will only give you an Apple Store gift card for the value of your phone. This goes against what's written on Apple's website, which reads in part, quote, "If you accept the trade-in estimate in the store, you'll get an instant credit toward your iPhone purchase." This differs from what happened to me yesterday. I reached out to Apple and have not heard back, so buyer beware. With today's tech headlines, I'm Jordan Hogan.
And time for weather now. You know, it's so cold in the studio today, my fingertips, I can't feel them. It's freezing.
It's always freezing in the studio despite what it is out there, but it is also cold.
I know, whether you go inside or outside
right, there's
here,
no winning.
It is chilly for sure. Yeah, temperatures well below normal. We're in the 40s for many spots along the Wasatch Front. At this hour, we should be about 70 degrees, so definitely feeling that chill in the air due to this cold front, which at least across southern Utah, yes, you are seeing some cooler temperatures, but as far as the storms, the rain, you're just not seeing that impact. It's a tale of two cities. St. George, as you can see, clear skies, beautiful sunny weather, even though you've been hanging on to the winds throughout portions of the day. Southeastern Utah, also mostly clear. A little breezy or windy, especially across southeastern Utah, where we've got sustained winds 20 to 30 miles per hour. Now, as we move across the Wasatch Front earlier on, we had rain showers from Utah County all the way up to the Utah-Idaho border, beginning to see some breaks in those clouds. It's chilly, though, as we now look up near Logan, where, again, yesterday the rain was torrential and definitely falling at a fast pace, where they picked up, as I mentioned earlier on, at least up in Richmond, 2.5 inches of precipitation here over the past 36 hours. But again, seeing that break in the clouds. But we're heading, as far as the thermometer is concerned, on a downward trend here, where, again, looking across northern Utah, current temperatures in the 40s from Logan through Ogden, upper 40s in Salt Lake City. Right now, we stand at 53 degrees in Provo. Now, the cold front positioning itself central towards southern Utah, so you're seeing cooler temperatures in Cedar City. But southeastern Utah, you still have upper 70s to 80s. That cooler air will begin to make its move in the overnight hours, and that's dropping temperatures. Whereas you can see, in contrast to yesterday at the same hour, we're noticing temperatures anywhere between, on the low end, 5 to about 20 degrees cooler. Now, again, as a reminder, northern Utah, yesterday at this hour, the front had already begun moving through, dropping those temperatures, so we're seeing more of a contrast through central and southern Utah. I mentioned the winds across the east and southern portions of the state, strong. 15, 25, 30 miles per hour sustained, seeing wind gusts in excess of 50 miles per hour throughout that region, even holding on to some stronger winds across western Utah. They're beginning to kind of calm down across the north, but a lot of watches and warnings in place. Let's first deal with the winds. Focusing in across eastern Utah, that wind advisory and fire weather warning with those stronger winds should remain in effect up until 10 o'clock. Now, as we are clearing skies overnight, particularly across central into northeastern Utah, and that colder air moving through, concerns with hard freeze warnings in place as we look from Duchesne, Roosevelt, also down through areas such as Manti, Ephraim, and then also looking over towards western Utah. It looks like northwest of Cedar City, so areas such as Milford through Delta, you're going to see some chilly temperatures. Wasatch Mountain valleys from Morgan down through Park City, hard freeze warning in place, but we're also incorporating Cache Valley with overnight temperatures getting down into the 20s. Now, we're hanging on to just a few scattered rain showers across portions of northern Utah, mainly as we look to Box Elder and Tooele County. As we look at that band of showers, as it moves over towards the east, it could potentially impact areas such as Layton northward. Just briefly, maybe just 15, 20 minutes or so as that moves on, and then we start seeing a break. However, we're going to hang on to some clouds here for the next few hours as drier air begins to move in, but we're not letting go of the cold. And as this circulation of colder air and a little bit of instability tomorrow could provide for maybe a few isolated showers across extreme northern Utah in the forecast. Let's take a look at where that potential could be. The computer models indicating as we move through the evening, again, things clearing out quite nicely. Waking up tomorrow morning, we're seeing some clouds. Northern Wasatch Front through Cache Valley, Box Elder County as well. Afternoon, yeah, you can see about a 20% chance of some showers. Salt Lake City northward, but again, the biggest impact will be fairly Ogden northward up through Tremont, Brigham City into Cache Valley as well. Cold night, though. 20s, Logan, Park City, over towards sub-zero or sub-freezing temperatures, I should say, in Milford, upper 30s in Provo. Tomorrow, 50s for highs, low 60s in Provo. Still breezy across eastern Utah. We've got 70s across the south, and that 20% chance again of a scattered rain shower, at least for extreme northern Utah. 70s to 80s, dry for the Dixie area. Nice weather heading into next weekend, and for northern Utah, 50s up until Thursday. Again, it's about a 20 to a 30% chance of a rain shower. Next weekend looks cool, but clear and sunny. And why are we complaining?
You know, those 2 days in the 70s were nice.
Why can't we just have fall? I'm born and raised in Utah. I love it, but just one time.
What is fall? What is fall? Define that.
Follows
like
the
70, 75 degrees.
Okay, all right. And?
We don't have that right now.
It's freezing.
We had it for like 2 days last week, maybe 3.
We'll get it back. Don't worry. We'll see a couple more 70s.
Okay, thanks, Brad. Still to come, CVS pharmacy stores are pulling Zantac off its shelves. We're going to tell you why.
Plus, why researchers are hopeful marijuana can help people on the autistic spectrum. Welcome back. In today's Money Watch, CVS announces that it is suspending the sale of Zantac along with any CVS products that contain ranitidine, a drug that's used to treat ulcers and heartburn.
The FDA says that active ingredient may contain a possible human carcinogen and cause cancer. However, Zantac has not been recalled and the FDA is not recommending patients stop taking these products. But CVS says its customers can return the products for a refund. The company says it will continue to sell over-the-counter heartburn drugs.
And the FDA is recalling some dog food over salmonella concerns. The agency is warning pet owners to stay away from Performance Dog brand frozen raw pet food that was produced on or after July 22nd of this year. It says samples tested positive for salmonella and listeria. Dog food has been under scrutiny lately by the FDA over concerns about heart disease.
In today's Health Watch, scientists in New York are trying to figure out if cannabis can help children with autism.
They're encouraged by the success marijuana has had in reducing epileptic seizures. Researchers are currently conducting clinical trials on 100 young patients, lasting 12 weeks of treatments through June 2021. It's estimated the study results will be finalized in September of 2021.
A new study finds millennials only relax for about 7 hours a week, and that's because they're just too wrapped up in their phones. After looking at 2,000 adults between the ages of 18 and 34, researchers found most people get less than 60 minutes to themselves every day. They also found around 6 in 10 millennials say they never truly relax because they are always checking their phones for emails or messages. A tenth of people claim they can't make it 10 minutes without checking their phone.
I like this.
Oh, you're getting choked up.
A little bit. That's okay.
The latest Dream Team surprise stirs a lot of emotions. We're going to meet the family who inspired an army of volunteers coming up.
Coming up, 2 films. One, the kids' flick, Abominable, and the Oscar bait, Judy, starring Renee Zellweger.
Live from Fox 13 Studios, this is Live at 5:30.
Okay, over the last month, it's kind of felt like a roller coaster. We started in the 90s, now we're the 40s today. And Breck, it's just kind of how it is here in Utah. It's just
and the warm-up's not really on the way, is it?
No, there's not.
Is the warm-ups kind of over at this point?
Well, we're going to see temperatures below normal. We will see a warming trend. If you recall, you mentioned 90s to start the month. We actually had temperatures in the triple digits, a rare circumstance and situation. But yeah, definitely feeling more like the tail end of fall here today, as that cold front bringing the rain, bringing the colder air, dropping snow levels where we have seen a couple of inches up in some of the ski resorts. Here's a view, though, Tribune camera. It took all day before we started seeing the sunshine. In the last hour or so, a break in the clouds, but not the case earlier on. Taking a look at our time lapse again, downtown Salt Lake City with our Tribune camera, hanging on the clouds throughout most of the day. Rain was really falling fast and hard throughout the morning hours, kind of some scattered rain showers throughout the afternoon. Again, seeing some improvements, though, and we'll continue to see some improvements overnight. However, we are holding on just to a few showers that could potentially impact the central towards the northern end of the Wasatch Front and extreme northern Utah. You can see those bands of showers moving along I-80 in Tooele County, but it's tracking northeast. So thinking from Layton northward, a possibility of some rain showers, but we will improve things out and get a break from the storms. As we're looking at a wider view there, let's take a look at your hour-by-hour forecast then. It's going to be cold. Temperatures in the 40s as we head into the early evening hours, but again, clearing things out quite nicely. Hard freeze warnings in place for locations across northern Utah. I'll update you on those warnings and finding out with this warming trend how warm temperatures look to get over the next 7 days.
This is the Fox 13 Dream Team, powered by Mountain America Credit Union, with support from Woodside Homes.
It's time for our latest installment of the Fox 13 Dream Team, and get this, it's one of our biggest surprises ever.
As Fox 13's Carrie Kronk shows us, it's all for an amazing young woman who guides her family with grace and strength.
Really, they've honestly been dealt a bad hand of cards, and I wanted to do something for them, and I knew that I couldn't do it myself.
Something big is about to happen at this home in Heber City.
I nominated Courtney Polson for the Dream Team. In June, she was diagnosed with ALS. You lose function of your whole entire body. Right now, she can still talk, she can still eat food normally, but that one day won't be something she can do. I personally have not ever once heard Courtney complain about having this diagnosis. She is so positive, and her husband is so positive.
Courtney and Chance are the proud parents of two.
Paisley, who is 7, and Strider, who will be 3 next month.
Working, raising kids, and battling ALS have left the Polsons no time or energy to fix up their property.
It's hard to get the wheelchair in and out of the home for her. She's not really able to go outside and sit on a porch or anything. I would love to see Courtney and Chance's home be a warm, welcoming place where their children can run out and play on some grass, maybe jump on a trampoline or something.
Chance's boss has taken the Polson family to Yellowstone, so the Dream Team has 5 days.
We're checking elevations.
To get things done. We are sanding.
You know this is going to mean a lot to Courtney.
That's why we're here.
Painting, planting, and digging.
At this point, you can't screw anything up.
Our way to a big surprise. And we've never had so much help from people who know the Polsons well.
Scott, super nice to meet you. This is so cool. Why did you guys decide to get involved?
Chance has worked with us for a while, and he's a great guy. Him and Courtney both.
And those who've never met them.
So I like doing this.
Oh, you're getting choked up.
A little bit. That's okay.
It's just rewarding to know that it's bringing joy to others and helping out too, and creating memories for people as well.
Lifetime Products and TrampolineHoles.com donated all their products and the crews to install them.
Install? Well, her friends just say she can't get around, and so this puts all of her kids just right where they can see them. And no, it'll be great for her.
R.C. Willey delivered the Polsons' new outdoor furniture.
We're almost ready. I'm going to stay here at the house while you go set up the surprise.
Okay, the Polson family's on their way back from Yellowstone. They have no idea, but they're going to pick me up on the side of the road. I'm pretending to be lost. Chance's boss is in on the surprise, and he's told them to pull over. Okay, maybe you guys can help me out. I'm actually looking for the Polson family. Does that name sound familiar to you guys?
Yeah, that'd be us.
Oh, you guys are the Polsons. Yeah. Oh, awesome. You guys got room in there for me?
Wow, they got it covered in and everything there. And the house is painted. And there is a... Wow, that house looks a lot better than it has ever looked its whole life.
Welcome home. What do you think?
It's amazing.
Your cute, sweet mom spent all weekend here painting the house, and I know she didn't tell you. She's a hard worker. We have the roof in the bathroom is fixed. I guess it was leaking. We've got a new sprinkler system, the new lawn. We've got the in-ground trampoline.
You see the trampoline?
Did you see it? And how about this playground, kids? Got a brand new playground play set. And you have this beautiful little pergola, and we could not have done it without Woodside Homes and Mountain America Credit Union. So let me introduce you. This is Crystalina Brown.
Oh my goodness. We are so excited for you to be able to come out here because we've heard you love the outdoors, right? You love to be outdoors and active with your family. Now you get to come out here, sit in the shade of this beautiful pergola and watch your kids grow. We just are honored to have you as our Dream Team recipient.
You are loved. We had people, friends, family, neighbors, businesses coming out of the woodwork just wanting to help. We had all sorts of food delivered. We don't even know who the pizzas came from. A whole bunch of pizzas showed up because this was 5 days, probably over 100 volunteers. Bottom line, genuinely care about you. You are loved.
I feel it. Thank you.
What a touching story. Now, the Polson's new outdoor living area is wheelchair accessible. The entrance to the house is as well. And a ramp was also added inside the home so Courtney can access her kitchen.
Now, Chance's employer, Snake Creek Landscape, did a ton of the work all for free, and Lee's Market of Heber City fed everyone. Of course, to nominate someone for a Fox 13 Dream Team surprise, head over to fox13now.com, click on the Dream Team tab, and fill out the nomination form.
Tell us about the person that you're nominating, what they've done for you, and what can make a difference in their life. And we'll see if we can make their dreams come true.
I'm Jeff Rainier. Coming up in sports, we'll hear from the GOAT, Nick Rimando, as he plays his final regular season game at home. And we'll look back on last night's big win from the Utes and hear from the team after beating up on the Cougars.
There are two major movies in wide release this weekend, very different from each other. First up, a kids animated film from DreamWorks. We gave away advanced screening passes for it, so I saw Abominable with a room full of kids. It's about a magical Yeti kidnapped by bad guys, voiced by Eddie Izzard and Sarah Paulson, who gets help returning to his Yeti family by the likes of Chloe Bennett from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
There are people looking for you.
Go faster!
You can do magic?
This is amazing!
This is impossible! I wish Dad were here to see this.
So what Abominable lacks in proper pacing, a solid script, and abundant humor, it tries to make up for in rich animation, a great soundtrack, and especially heart. Firstly, the basic storyline is way familiar, very similar to other multiple children's flicks. Secondly, it's noticeably slow in spots, especially for a relatively short kids film. Thirdly, it's not often very funny. The theater didn't laugh that much, and the magical aspect of the Yeti is basically a get-out-of-trouble-free card. It essentially pops up and solves any and all issues the script needs it to. But Abominable also boasts a great soundtrack, both in chosen tunes and the score, and the animation looks wonderful too. You can see it here, so much better than an earlier trailer, and the landscape shots are especially beautiful, showcasing China's natural beauty. And the moral of the story is Abominable's strongest suit, served up with some very touching moments. That being said, what it lacks tamps down what it brings, to the point that I personally think that although it's harmless PG fare, it's also not much of a standout. A just slightly above average C+ from me for Abominable, which wasn't abominable, surely, but it wasn't great either. I guess just more evidence that DreamWorks is not quite Pixar. And now for those of you who counted out Renee Zellweger, well, don't. There's already some Oscar buzz around her performance in this. The other film out this weekend, it's a biographical drama focusing on legendary performer Judy Garland's experience during a series of sold-out London concerts in the winter of 1968. It's Judy.
You need to take better care of yourself. You understand?
Everybody has their troubles. And I've had mine. I just want what everybody wants. I just seem to have a harder time getting it.
Renee Zellweger not only doing all her own singing here, but most of it live on set, transforming herself into Judy Garland, warts and all, which is what I like about this biopic. It doesn't really try to clean up Garland while also showing how rough she had it as a child star, surrounded by people who did not have her best interests at heart. Not only MGM head Louis Mayer, but even her own mother. Judy is best when it sticks to the facts, which it largely does. It's at its worst when it creates scenes and characters that never existed, whether rather moving or terribly cheesy. Either way, it undermines their power to know they never happened. It makes them all the more questionable when the cheese is included that never existed in the first place. Superfans may not like how true to life some of the less attractive elements are, but again, I personally don't want my biopics watered down, or biopics. I just wish it had stuck with the facts and not tried to pluck additional heartstrings in the process by making stuff up. Still, other than that, it's really good. A B+ from me for Judy. Overall, Judy Garland, well, she did the best she could, largely being surrounded by Hollywood predators. Sheesh. For Fox 13, I'm Rich Bonaducci.
In today's Hot Shots, one of the biggest new artists to hit rap music is shocking his fans.
But first, one professor is surprising their students in a big way. Dr. Katrina Sims. She teaches at Hofstra University in New York, and she's an assistant professor of history. And now she's decided to move back into the main dorm on campus. Her apartment has just about everything she needs: a bathroom, bedroom, sitting area, and kitchen. And get this, she lives rent-free, and her commute is just a walk to class. Dr. Sims also helps dorm life seem more like home. She enjoys hosting family dinners and being a resource to students.
I got the horses in the bag, horse stock is attached. Head is matted black, got the bushes black to match.
My least favorite song of summer 2019. Listen to this, a out of left field announcement after arguably what some might call the biggest hit song of the year. Rapper Lil Nas X says he's taking a break from music. He made that announcement on Twitter and canceled 2 shows in the process. His song Old Town Road spent a record-breaking 19-week run atop Billboard's Hot 100 chart.
It's catchy. And finally, Bugatti now has come down to the toddler level of cars. With a touring car for your little ones, Bugatti with the Little Car Company has unveiled a prototype of its baby Bugatti 2, a battery-powered replica of Bugatti's 1924 Type 35 Grand Prix car.
The car is built at about 75% of the original scale. Grandparents, parents, and kids can all enjoy the roadster racing feel of the car, and a pedal box adjusts to drivers of different heights and remote control regulating the speed if necessary.
But if you want to buy one, yeah, it's bad. It costs more than $33,000.
Oh, why not?
So, Breck, when are you going to buy that for your kids?
Even the toy car is a little steep in price. Now, my kids love a Bugatti, but the real ones cost, about $10 million.
So you're getting a steal, really.
Yeah, exactly. All right, speaking of trying to find a deal, well, not giving you a deal weather-wise here across the state throughout the weekend, except in central and southern Utah, where really throughout the weekend you've been enjoying a lot of sunshine. Winds, though, yeah, all ahead of that cold front. Now the cold front moving through the Dixie area. Winds not as strong, but it's a little bit of a breeze there. West, at least out of the direction of the west, 12 miles per hour. Current temperature 72 degrees, so we're noticing temperatures beginning to cool off, even down on the Dixie area. Now turning towards the Wasatch Front. We've been noticing a break in the clouds, break from the rain, not a break from the cold temperatures. It's cool out there. Right now we're at 49 degrees in Salt Lake City, Ogden in the low 40s. These are temperatures that we typically find in November, at least for the first couple of weeks. Currently in Provo, you're at 53 degrees. All the wind direction, at least in northern Utah, out of the north due to that cold front. Still a strong south wind, though, as the cold front not reaching southeastern Utah. Temperature is fairly mild, but look at these winds, anywhere between 20 to 30 miles per hour. That's what we're going to talk about, those wind advisories that are in place in that location. All right, looking back over the past 7 days, take a look at the temperatures where, yeah, we enjoyed some 70s. We got it. There's your fall. 80s, as we looked on Thursday, dropping into the 60s. boy, we're going to find temperatures, well, not in that range for sure. Yeah, hopefully a few days, maybe in the 60s. Well, looking at watches and warnings, first focusing on those winds. Once again, as a reminder, we have wind advisory, fire weather warning for southeastern Utah. That'll be in place until 10 o'clock. Now, skies will be clear, particularly across central, southern, eastern Utah. Thus, with that colder air, clear skies, hard freeze warning in place as we look into Duchesne County, central Utah, specifically areas such as Manti, down through Richfield, Ephraim as well. Western Utah, in addition, areas Milford, Delta, definitely can see temperatures right near freezing or below that. And 20s expected for some of the Wasatch Mountain valleys up through Cache Valley. It's going to be a chilly evening. So, of course, this last week we didn't have to turn on the air conditioner, but definitely going to probably have to turn on the heater here tonight across at least northern into central and western Utah. Now we're hanging on to a few showers, tracking through Box Elder County, making its move from Layton, Ogden through Brigham City here over the next hour or so. That's one wave that'll push through. Then we get a break for most spots as we're going to be hanging on to a little bit of moisture come tomorrow, but we are improving in the clearing stages of the storm, except for extreme northern Utah, where tomorrow we could see a chance of maybe seeing some scattered rain showers. Very isolated, wouldn't change any plans, but again, that'll be focused for the northern Utah and mainly throughout the afternoon. It's pretty much north of Salt Lake City. So colder air will be in place though here for the next few days, where we got that trough of low pressure, the flow coming well from the north, from Canada, bringing it across the state. As we'll push away the moisture, though, taking a long-range look at your forecast for the upcoming week. So again, tomorrow afternoon, right near the Utah-Idaho border, Box Elder County, we could see some brief showers. Once we get Monday into Tuesday, though, high pressure begins to build back in. Things dry out quite nicely. We keep it dry for the next several days. We turn to our southwest flow on Thursday, allowing temperatures getting close to where they should be for this time of year. Then another trough of low pressure bringing in the flow out of the northwest. But notice where the moisture is at. It stays well north of the state, which means we're not going to see the showers, keeping it dry, but a little cooler as we head into the weekend. So say goodbye to the rain, at least as we look after tomorrow. But there the temperatures go, as we're seeing 30s tonight, 20s in Park City, Evanston as well, low 30s in Cedar City. Highs tomorrow in the 50s and low 60s. Southern Utah, 60s and 70s. St. George, it's nice for the next 7 days. We're back into the 80s. No threat of rain. Weekend, that's a good time to get down towards southern Utah. Well, you get that chance of showers in the afternoon tomorrow. Then it's clear, back into the 60s. Also, the weekend looks to be clear and a little cool.
Utah jumped 2 spots to 17th in both the Associated Press and coaches poll after a dominating win over Washington State last night to improve their record to 4-1 overall and 1-1 in Pac-12 play. After losing to USC last week, this was a huge game for the Utes. They needed a win to keep pace with the teams in the top of the Pac-12 South. First quarter, Tyler Huntley, who had a big game, to Devontae Henry Cole, takes it into the end zone. 11-yard touchdown, put the Utes up 7-0. Washington State answered back with their usual potent offense. Anthony Gordon to Deion McIntosh tied the score up at 7. The Utes came back with a big play on their next play from scrimmage. Huntley airs it out to Samson Nakua, wide open, 52-yard touchdown. Huntley completed 21 of his 30 passes for 334 yards and 2 touchdowns, 14-7 Utes. Then just before the half, it's Huntley, takes it himself, cuts it up and scores. 15-yard touchdown run, and the Utes led it 21-13 at the half. The Utes dominated the third quarter, controlling the ball and time of possession. Derek Vickers runs it in from 7 yards out. The Utes were rolling, up 31-13. Huntley added one more touchdown run in the fourth quarter. The Utes won it big, 38-13. Bouncing back from an impressive win over Washington State, ending a 4-game losing streak to the Cougars.
Great to see our guys rebound after a disappointing, tough loss last week. You know, it was great to see our guys put a complete game together, offense, defense, special teams. I thought Tyler was outstanding again. He's playing by far his best football since he's been at Ute, and he's one of the best quarterbacks in the country right now, in my opinion. Defense, that offense of Washington State's high-powered. They're getting 600 yards a game and 50-plus points, and to hold them to what we did tonight was outstanding. You know, it's great to go into a bye week off of a win. You know, you don't want to sit on a loss for 2 weeks, and so that's another positive. Is we got some momentum back in our favor.
It feels great, man. It's a long time coming, and you know, it just feels good. It's a manifestation of our hard work and practice.
You know, only holding them to 15 points, it really shows, you know, the film that we watched and the preparation that we had this whole week just paid off. So, you know, we're really excited for the next weeks. We know we have a bye next week, but we got Oregon State, so we got to be ready for them.
It's a big night for Nick Rimando and Real Salt Lake. While RSL is battling for a playoff spot with 2 matches to go, legendary goalkeeper Nick Rimando playing his final regular season game tonight as they're hosting the Houston Dynamo. Over 20 years in the MLS with 13 in Utah, Rimando's the league record holder in games played, wins, starts, minutes, saves, shutouts, and penalties saved. Not bad for a 5'9" goalkeeper.
I knew that I could play at the level. I had a lot of doubters growing up that I was too short and so on. But just playing that first game, you get that first game underneath your belt, you get the confidence of, yeah, I could play at this level. I knew mentally I could, but just being out there is different. And you know, that first save you get, and so yeah, that's a game where I was like, okay, I could do this. I could do this. I didn't think it was gonna be 20 years, but I knew I could do it for a couple.
Yeah, a lot of goalkeepers well over 6 feet tall.
Kind of like you right now.
Yeah, I got a little booster stool I'm standing on, so yeah. Sometimes we need a little help. Not Nick Rimando, really good goalkeeper.
And tonight, the last regular season game of the season?
Yeah, they'll be in the playoffs, so we'll see him again, but they have one more game to play on the road, but they're honoring a legend.
All right.
At Rio Tinto tonight.
All right, thanks so much, Jeff.
We'll be right back.
And just into the Fox 13 newsroom, at least 3,600 Rocky Mountain Power customers are without power right now. The outage is centered in the Mill Creek and Sugar House areas. There's no word yet on when that power is going to come back on, and crews are still investigating the cause. We, of course, will update you tonight on Fox 13 News.
And we have a little bit of time to take one last look at the
7-day forecast. Yeah, it's going to be a cool start to the work week for sure. 50s. We do have a slight chance of a scattered afternoon shower, mainly north of Salt Lake City. Nice for the week, though. A little cool on the weekend, but we're getting rid of the rain.
A little cool. A lot cool.
Thanks for joining us at 5.
Join us again tonight right here at 9 o'clock.